Hello, John Falcone here. I hope everybody's doing great today and you made some green. We're going to talk a little bit about the market, the Fed and inflation, tariffs, a few of the chip stocks, AMD and NVIDIA, and then we're going to go over some live analysis of the SPY, DIA, IWM, QQQ, and then I might even show you a few charts, AMD and NVIDIA. See you there.
The stock market saw a very strong day today, folks. The Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed, rising by 1.2%. The S&P 500 also inched up by 0.8%. The Nasdaq also rose, posting a gain of 1.5%. Remember last week we had that 9-day winning streak snap. The Dow and S&P 500 both took a breather. Today, though, a bit of a rebound. Keep in mind this market is still digesting a lot of information. The Fed's holding steady on rates, but those trade talks are keeping everyone on edge. The Federal Reserve decided to leave interest rates untouched today. They're waiting for more economic data. Smart move, if you ask me. Got to be cautious in this environment. Trade talks, on the other hand, are heating up. The US and China are still at the negotiating table over in Switzerland. Word on the street is that 17 countries are offering sweet deals to avoid those tariffs. And let's not forget about corporate earnings. Companies are posting their numbers, and that's always a major market driver. Some are knocking it out of the park, others not so much. Disney, the House of Mouse, is roaring today. Their stock soared by a whopping 11%. Strong quarterly results, a shiny new theme park, and an optimistic outlook have investors singing Zippity-doo-dah. Charles River Laboratories is another big winner, jumping 19% thanks to some boardroom shakeups and a strategic review. Change can be good, folks. AppLovin's also riding high. They sold off their mobile game business and posted strong earnings. The stock popped 13% after hours. And don't forget about those chip makers. AMD, NVIDIA, and Broadcom are all up thanks to eased trade restrictions on semiconductors and strong demand for AI technology. The Fed's keeping a close eye on inflation. Those tariffs could really throw a wrench in the works. They're also watching unemployment like a hawk. Trade negotiations are the talk of the town. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen with China. Will they strike a deal, or will those tariffs stay put? Corporate earnings season is in full swing. Keep your eyes peeled for any surprises, good or bad. They could send stocks soaring or plummeting. Bottom line, folks, it's a volatile market out there. Stay informed, stay diversified, and don't make any rash decisions. Now let's do some analysis.
Well, let's get into a little bit of analysis now. First up, I have the Dow Jones, DIA. I'll let you know a little bit about what I got on my chart here. This thin green line is the 3 EMA. The red right there is the 8 EMA. Then I have the 15 EMA and the 20, because I do a 3, 8, 15 EMA cross on the daily, which gives this buy signal when the cross happens in, this is in TradingView. Gives me a heads up that the market could be turning up. We could see that the Dow went up 283.69% today. And and this red line here, what I do is this tells me the RSI was overbought, and you'll see over here on the green that it was actually I'm sorry, this is overbought and the red is oversold. So let's go over this. You see we have a pretty big wick on the top today, a little bit of an indecision. The buyers tried to come in and the sellers pushed it back down again. And you can see the volume here was lower volume, which usually means that the buyers are heading out, taking a little bit of a rest. And a lot of times what will happen is when you get this wide divergence between the 3 and the 8 EMA, it could pull back down right here to the 8, and then maybe we'll bounce back up again like this and test this resistance line. Here's a resistance line at 418.51. That's what these dashed lines are, or support and resistance. And so we'll see what happens. It really depends on the tariffs. There's a lot of news coming out, so we'll see how that takes the market. Let's go to the SPY. Same thing. We've got a doji here. This right here is from about, I did a support line, trend line. This was in April 12th, 24. You can see this was support. It broke support. What was once support now becomes resistance, and it broke that. So there's a chance with this wide divergence between the 20-day moving average and then the gap there to the 8, we could have the same thing happen, where we come down to the 8 EMA, test this support, and possibly go up. We'll see if we break it. The volume was higher today, but it's red because of how the sellers came in, and it came down like that today for this doji. Here's the Qs. Tech sector, same thing, indecision to a doji. Very volatile market. This right here is the 200-day moving average. We tried to break that, and then we got this trend line right here, or let's say resistance at 493.62, and that we'll see what happens. It's really fighting there. We're kind of be in a range here, possibly maybe go up and down a little bit like this until we get some a lot of tariffs that are move forward, signed. We have a good negotiation. We could really take off, but we'll see again with this. These big gaps, wide divergence between the 8 and the 20, 8 EMA and the 20-day, we could come down to the 8 and then go back up and test the 200 again. So we'll see what happens. And then we got IWM. Now I haven't looked at these, so we're doing it on the fly here. Here we go again. This had a little bit of a stronger day. Came all the way down here and tested this area right here, and then it made a higher high. So we have a higher low and we have a higher high, which tends to mean that we're going to continue up. Especially we had higher volume today. We had pretty close. The average is 32.66 million, and this was 32.61. So kind of average volume. But I expect it all depends on the rest of the market. The small caps seem to be turning around a little bit. But again, we could have a little bit of a pullback. We'll see if this support here at 197 holds, and then we can take off again. Let's look at Bitcoin. Oh, I have the wrong one. We got to go. Let's look and see if we can find Bitcoin here. BTC USD, that's what we want. And look at that today. And it's still going up. It's 103.092 right now. We broke this resistance, and right now it's saying we're overbought. That's why the RSI, that's why we have this green vertical bar. But it's under so much momentum. I would not be surprised to see at least over the weekend in the next week that we test the 109 area. I think that's what's going to happen. And, you know, a lot of the other ones like Mara and the ETFs for Bitcoin, they're all going up. And let's look at AMD first. It had a good report. And again, look at how it went up. Buyers came in early and they weakened, got tired, and it pushed it down. So we'll see if this is a pivot point, whether it's going to pull back again to, let's say it's right here. Will it just pull back to the 8 and bounce back up again and test that high? Or are we actually going to come down? Is it possible we could come down to the 20 and then go back up? That's a possibility also. Just depends on the news and the earnings that are moving forward. NVIDIA, it's down in post-market. It only went up 31 cents. I had a line right here that was a buy trigger price of, let's see what it was. It's 119.50 was my bullish signal to buy, and today it didn't hit that. We'll see what happens, and it is part of my Discord system where I actually I put these targets in, trigger price. I'll put in targets and I'll put in stops, and these alerts will automatically notify you on your phone, Discord, or your computer. So it's a really awesome system. So that's it for the analysis for today. We'll do another one tomorrow, and you guys have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe and make some money.